I awoke to the tinkle of ice cubes swirling around in a glass. That better not be any more of that fucking cranberry juice. My voice was cracked and low, which wasn't surprising since I hadn't used it much over a year, and I think I did a hell of a lot of screaming before the lights went out. Your cranberry juice days are over, my little one. Welcome to my world. Sitting up, I looked down at myself and saw that my chest was covered in blood. The sheet I was lying on was drenched with it as well. My hair was matted to my head with what I didn't want to know. I needed a shower, but as I tried to get off the bed, I ended up on the floor. My legs were refusing to work. Do you require my assistance, Sex? I gritted my teeth. I'd given him permission to call me that. Yes. Did I get fangs? Marcus walked towards me, wrapping a linen bandage around his forearm. Yes, you got your fangs, though you will need to learn how to bite. You did not even hit a vein. Sorry, I said, though I wasn't the sorriest in the least. He caught me around the arms and hauled me to my feet. I was a dead weight. I started to topple over, but he quickly grabbed me and swept me up in his strong arms, in the typical bridal lift again. I'd take being held like this as opposed to slamming my face into a concrete floor any day. Once we were inside the shower, Marcus deliberately slid me down his naked body. His cock was already stirring. You're going to fuck me? I can't even stand up! Did I say that out loud? You need to drink, he answered, pressing me back against the shower wall and leaning over, presenting his neck. I could see a shallow pulse there, and my eyes locked on it. You can live off of other vampires if you need to, but the best blood is human. You cannot control the extension of your fangs yet, as you can't bring them down at will, so you will have to rely on scent to do that for you. The scent of fresh blood will do it every time. I watched as he broke the skin of his throat with his thumbnail, and a drop of crimson blood oozed out. A sudden sharp pain, as though I'd been punched in the jaw, made me grab at my mouth. Sharp fangs now protruded where my canines had once been. Crap, they were long, far longer than Marcus's. Even he was staring at him. What? I challenged. Your fangs are at their full extension. Once you gain control over them, you will be able to control their length. Now, find the vein in my throat, and remember, straight in and straight out. The key is not to leave any sign on the donor. Try 5 swallows, no more than that. You are still changing, and too much will simply make you sick. Hearing him giving me instructions on how to drink blood was just like being critiqued on my kissing technique. I was so self-conscious that I didn't know which way to turn my head, and when I did lean in, I scratched him with a fang. Using my tongue to find the pulse, I pressed down my jaws, and my mouth was instantly filled with sweet, warm blood. I groaned and eagerly swallowed his essence. It was heavenly. He tasted of cold, crisp apples and wet leaves. He was my very own apple orchard. I swallowed again, and again, and then concentrating, I tried to make sure I backed straight out so not to hurt him. Little rivulets of blood seeped from the dual wounds, and I licked at them the same way Marcus had done to mine so many times. You do not have to lick vampires. We heal quickly, he said, watching. But maybe you should get into the habit anyway. How are you feeling? Stronger. I stepped away from the shower wall to see if I was going to start swaying again. I didn't. A lot stronger, I reaffirmed, turning the shower on and setting the temperature as Marcus came to stand behind me. May I have you? I blinked and turned around. I had to tip my head back to look at him. He was looming over me, his palms pressed by the shower head and his upper torso angling towards me. What's to stop you, since me being all bloody is apparently a turn-on for you? He lowered his head, and I thought he was going to kiss me like he normally did, but instead he stopped a couple of eyelashes away from my lips. I pressed my back up against the tiles, trying to get some space between us, trying to make sense of what he was doing. He hovered in closer, but he still didn't touch me. I stared him straight in the eye, knowing something had changed. What makes this time any different than the rest? I am asking. Because you are a vampire now. You are a part of the blood. You are a member of my house. Therefore, you are an equal. So all those times that I said no, they meant nothing because I was just part of the food chain. Yes. I didn't expect him to say that, to admit to it, and it silenced me. I reached for the shampoo bottle, but he took it first, squirting some out into the palm of his hand and using it to start washing my hair. I am not a pet poodle, and I smacked his hand away indignantly, surprised that I could actually do so. Keep your hands to yourself, I huffed. How about I only touch you? You can initiate intercourse. Shampoo crept into my eyes and stung them. I blindly pressed my hands on Marcus's chest and shoved him away from me, slightly. I'm still trying to get my head around the fact that I climbed onto your cock willingly in the first place, I told him, lifting my soap-filled eyes up to the jets of falling water, rinsing them. Give me leave to touch you, he begged, moving me backwards, crowding me into the corner of the shower, but not actually touching me. Blinking, I didn't protest when I felt his hands on my head again. I let the shampoo and the shower head wash all the blood out of my hair. Not that you could distinguish it from the long red mess it was now. Marcus must have read the bottle and was following the instructions religiously. He slapped more shampoo into my hair and rattled my head around in an attempt to clean my hair thoroughly, until I smacked his hands away in agitation. Are all of you sex-crazed? You are my mate. I cursed as my eyes popped open at that statement, and I ended up with more shampoo in them. I blinked and winced and blinked some more, turning my face back up to the shower stream. Once I could see again, I shook my head slightly. I assume that this isn't let's meet the rest of our mates down at the pub kind of thing. I chose you as my immortal love when I saved you from death that night, Marcus answered. I tried to step away from him, but he just held on to me and tightened his grip. I started to confess quickly. Before you came along, I was dating girls. I wasn't good at it, and it wasn't very often. Truthfully, I only dated 2 different girls, and I'm pretty sure they both felt sorry for me. But until now, girls were my preference. Really. I'm not gay. So how can this work? Marcus caressed my cheek. I found it strangely comforting. They did not appreciate you, and you were lying to yourself, he said. Like calls to like, my love. Those women did not see the potential inside you, but I did. He pressed his face up to my cheek as he whispered this, and I stayed still. I had nowhere to go. How did raping me every day bring out the potential in me, I asked. If I had set up a treadmill and said, use it, you would not have. I had to make you fear me. Once you feared me, you did as I asked. 2 hours on the treadmill, sex, or it will be 2 hours on your knees. Remember? Yes, I remembered those words, and he was right. I would have done anything to get him off me. Now, look at this. His hands ran over my flesh, tracing the well-defined shape of my lean and muscular physique. This is what I saw when I first looked at you in that bar. This is what I knew was inside you. This is what I helped you to attain. I frowned. You made me skinny, so now I'm your eternal bride. I wish it could be that simple, my little one. Now that you are one of the blood, I have free rein to pursue you as my mate. But our bodies already know each other so well, and it would be a shame not to let them fornicate as often as necessary. I shifted my shoulders and pulled at the hold he had on my waist. Yeah, well, your necessary is nowhere near my necessary, and if what you said is true, you're not getting near my necessary for quite a while. Marcus, a voice called through the bathroom door. Are we still going hunting? It is getting late if you want to go to that bar. I was surprised that Claudius hadn't walked in and joined us in the shower. Only minutes ago he had no qualms about stripping completely on the bed in front of me. How could he be so coy now? What the hell is it with these vampires? Or is it just these 2? An index finger reached up and Marcus stroked away the furrow in my brow. "Now you see why I told you not to think," he chided. "And yes, Claudius is a good friend, and you can rely on him if you need help and I am not around. Ah, there, you are all clean. Go and put your clothes on. I have one more birthday present to give you." I stepped out of the shower cubicle and grabbed a towel. Great, one more present from him. The last one had been a killer. I started laughing as I was hit with the absurdity of my death. I was still a fuck toy. Only now I had an extended lifetime warranty. "Get up, wipe those tears away, get dressed," I told myself, fighting the building hysteria inside of me. No matter what Marcus and Claudius had planned for me tonight, nothing was going to be worse than dying. Fuck. I was so very wrong, because for my last gift, I found myself back in the very same gay bar that he had taken me from to begin with. Great fucking birthday present.